Okay, after 23 phone calls this morning, I finally was able to find a 3/8 cut plug. These just don't exist in Australia. They're incredibly hard to find. I was able to find this one at a carburetor shop. Apparently they're used to seal throttle linkages and stuff. I don't know exactly what, but I found one. It's here, and I'm going to use that to plug the relevant gallery here for the dual feed mod. Details of such are here on the Sloppy Mechanics wiki. Good source of information for anybody doing these kind of things. So I'm going to Loctite that in, and I'm going to bang it in the hole. It's a brass one. I'm hoping brass is okay for this job. It's all I can get. I would have preferred to use a steel one, but hey, this will do. I'm going to Loctite it in as well, just because, and yeah, we'll go from there. Done and dusted. Okay, I just drove that all the way down to the little ledge in the bottom of the case there. Yeah, I'm hoping that's okay. I don't think it will push back out. I don't know how much pressure's behind here. Probably a shitload. I suppose we'll find out if it's going to be a problem. But yeah, there's that. Okay, so resuming progress on this 4L80E assembly today. After the last video I put up, I received 2 messages saying that I really need to check the front end plate. I can't just bang it in and guess. Apparently that's not a good plan. So, as I mentioned last time, I don't have the right tools to do this, but I have some tools that I might be able to use to get a pretty good idea. So I'm going to pull the pump off, and I'm going to try and find a way to measure stuff, and we'll see what I come up with. The book says not to lever from back here, but I'm gonna. That's stuck. Really want everything to come out in one big hit. Come out now. Or not. Yes. Alright. Broken anything, if I can tell. Still reuse that. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, pump is out. Voila. It did get hung up a little bit on the bushing for the shaft here, which is in here. So I had to motivate it just a smidge with a hammer just to get the pump off separately. Just little taps as I was levering the pump up. The book says to not lever against the back of the pump, but apparently you can break a gallery and not even realise you've done it. But I've been watching a lot of precision transmission videos, shop in Texas, and they always do. Just got to be gentle. You have to force it. It's not that hard to get out. You just need to push it past the seal and you're all good. So I could not imagine breaking a cast pump by doing that. You'd have to be really silly. But I now need to measure the clearance between the surface in here and where the back of the pump, where that plastic ring runs. So I need to find a way of measuring that clearance. I'm thinking a straight bar from one side to the other with some feeler gauges might be pretty good, but we will see what I come up with. Okay, so with the straight edge across the case, I don't have the right length, so I'm going sort of from here to here on the casing and measuring against this area because it doesn't actually cover over that part yet. From the casing to there, I'm getting 72 thou. So now I just need to work out the difference of this. Shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so as close as I can tell, that's a 20 thou gap there. It seems to measure okay, so okay, let's add some stuff up. Alright, call that take 2. Just realised it says that the rear gear train must be loaded to do this measurement, so instead of putting it on the ground, I've just jacked it up from the output shaft. It's just balancing there, so it's just lifting the stand off the ground slightly. I'll do the measurement again. Okay, new measurement with the gear train loaded. We're at 50 thou now onto the outside rim, which is here. So 50 thou from there to there. We know that's 20, 70 thou. Let's see if that makes any sense. Alright, taking some notes down so I don't forget this shit. That's 28 thou there. Alright, so now I need to measure where that little ledge there, you see that? Bit of a step. So I've just measured how big that step is there. There, if you can see it better on the camera. That's 28 thou. So now I need to measure how far it drops down again, because that looks like it's further down than it is here. So let's see if I can do that. That's going to be hard. Over there. Could use some angled feeler gauges at this point in time. Yeah, so that's 28. That fits straight through there. So it's definitely bigger than 28 on that side. Let's go to my biggest 32 thou. Not 32. be 30. Let's have a look. 30. Locks on that. Can't be 29, surely. Can't be all that close together. Yeah, 29. 29. 26. Doesn't make sense. Surely it's not 28 as well. Must be 29. Okay, so I've done another few measurements here with the wrong tools as usual, because I do not have what I need. This is all rusted to the shit and doesn't work, and the adapters don't fit on this, so yeah, that's a fail. I've done it all with feeler gauges and just pure luck. I'm measuring from the body of the casing to here at 70 thousandths. I'm also measuring, cut that off for a second, from this part here to this part here as being the same. There's like a 28 or 29 thou lip there, but it goes up and down the same amount, which doesn't feel like it does, so I'm hoping I've measured that correctly, but yeah, it should be close enough. So I've got these different size spaces. The one I had in there was a 70 something thou one, which is slightly too big. The other ones are bigger again. This one here is just a plain 34602. According to this doodad here I found, 34602, 59 thou, which gives me 11 thou without taking into consideration the actual pump gasket itself, which I think will be a couple of thou. So I reckon that'll put me at about 13 thou, which is in the window. I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to just stick that one back on there, bang the pump back in, put the seal back in, torque it down. Go on, shoe cat, down here. Oh, and the seal as well, probably need that too, seems important. Don't think I stuffed that last time. Looks okay. Up is up. Up goes over the top of that pin, the casing pin, but it's got to say up. It can't be like backwards up. It doesn't work. It's got to be that way. So that goes in that hole. That one's the middle one. Beautiful. Where are my holes here? Upside down, so that way. That bolt there. I think that's right there. Jesus. Yep. Like that. Good. Okie dokie. Bolts. That's as long as it's going to get. Ugga dug. Little ugga dugga. Yeah. Hello. Probably let that jack down now, hey? That would be a good plan. Nope, something's not lined up properly there. looks lined up. Doesn't want to play. Well, that's not good. There. Right. Try that. Right, it's better. Start with that. Good. Okay, pumps back in. Now I just need to torque it up. Book says 18 foot-pounds or 24 newtons. Get my torque wrench out and do it up. Okay, moving on, time for some pistons. I think that's the manual brake. What's it called? Yeah, manual brake, yeah. So that's this one here. I've popped a new seal on that already. I'll put some lube on that and plug it in the hole. Okay, that's in. Disengaging the band. I actually did it with the spring out. I'll just do it again. Popped it in without the spring, just so I could feel the band engagement. It's definitely working. Sweet. Next one, I think. I don't know what any of that means. Of course, not have a read. Alright, so this is all for measurement of stuff. If you've changed anything in the rear, like the bands and, was it center? Something. I have changed a bunch of stuff in here. I don't have the measurement tool. Also, I'm not going back to measure it without the center support, like this step indicates. We've gone too far. Just going to bang it in and see if it works. So that's this fella here, and that spring that I've just got sitting in the case. Lubricate and bang it in. And it goes in here. Look at that's in. That's it. That's in there. Strange how it sits on a funny angle, but it's making noises and doing stuff. All right. Cover gasket and the part. There it is. Cover gasket. That looks like that. I reckon that's how I put it in. Look, probably not necessary. Come on, off you go. Transmission full of cat fur now. Shed cat always has to help. Yeah, it goes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be done. Those look like the right box. They look like 10mm as well, which is probably the one full of dirt. Yes. Yes. Good. Book says thread them in by hand, so I've used a power tool. 18 foot-pounds. It's the same as before, isn't it? Yeah. Same as the pump, so don't have to change my tool. That another round. Seems to pull down as it goes, that one, so I think we're okay. Beautiful. Rust on there, doesn't look any good. Much prettier. Rag. There we go. Okay, low and reverse accumulator servo doodad is in and torqued. Shows it here. I don't have the mechanisms to measure that, so let's hope it's all good and works perfectly. Yeah? Right, next part. It's next in the book. Oh yeah, that PWM screen. Some check balls. I think I need to do some modifications to which check balls are used as well because of the dual feed mod, so I might have to flick back to Sloppy Mechanics Wiki and have a look. Okay, that's in. There's your little screen filter there. I've just hammered that in with a little Allen head socket driver. There's it, show it here. It's good. Alright, now onto the check balls. Alright, so I've done a little bit of research. Sloppy Mechanics doesn't say otherwise. Looked at a couple of other websites. As far as I know, I use all of the check balls. Check balls don't make any difference. There's talk of number 9. Mine didn't have a check ball in number 9 anyway, so I will leave it out. And just install 1 through 8 like normal. Apparently only if you're deleting the 3rd and 4th accumulators you need to worry about that. I'm just running a stock one for now. I might change that down the track if I don't like how it drives, but I'd rather do as little modification as possible to get it running and then improve it later. I have a hoist. I can get it out easy enough if I need to. Yeah, let's just put it back in how it's supposed to be. Okay, one goes here. One goes here. Nice if this was a bit more level. There we are. One goes here. One goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I got 8 spots anyway. Don't know what I was talking about with 9. Maybe that's for fancy people. Fancy newer transmissions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's all I've got. That's what I got. That's where they go. Oh no, that's upsetting. One slightly sticky ball going into a hole. Try that again. Okay, 8 balls, 8 holes. Okay. Check balls like this, 8 of. Matches the case that I have. 8. Installed. I don't know where number 9 comes from. I don't see a divot for number 9, so I don't have 9 anyway, so I don't need to worry about that. Next part is the valve body. If you have valve body alignment pins, install them now. I don't. I also don't care. I'll work out the alignment by hand. I bought a complete assembled valve body because mine was rat shit and also didn't match this case. So, yep, I'll put it on now. Okay, that's laying on there. Manual valve is engaged. It's in the place it needs to be. Book says to now put the pressure switch manifold on. I don't know if I should be talking that down or not. Finger tight. Okay, so it says put it on, do it up finger tight. I will do this. Where does it sit? That looks right. Is that right? Bolt holes line up. Gaps line up. Yeah, I reckon that's right. That's where it goes. Five bolts. Also bolts. 6 bolts. Two. Size is that? Looks like 8 mil. Yes, it's an 8mm. know what I'd love? I'd love a speed handle. I don't see speed handles in Australia. They look amazing. We don't use them. You go to shops around here and look for a speed handle, you won't find one. Some of these threads are a bit unhappy. That's okay. Nothing some ugly buggers won't fix. Probably doing that up too tight for where I should be at this place. Alright, I'll just leave that for now. Okay, pressure switch. That's just lightly tightened down by hand. Handish with a socket because it was a little bit of a knackered thread, but it's loose. Next step is to install the rear lube tube. Now, funny story with this is where I worked out that my transmission wasn't going to work and I needed to pull it apart. When I first got this and I pulled the pan off it because it wouldn't turn, this is the lube tube I had, which is exactly the same as the one in the book. And it goes in here and to here. Except there's no hole here on this valve body and there's no hole there on the valve body that I had with the transmission. So that was just laying like that in the pan, loosely. That's where I knew I was in for some fun. So, being in Australia, I had to order the correct lube tube, which is very hard to find. There it is. And the little clip that holds it in, which is in my bag of things somewhere. I want to put that in now, but that was very difficult to find in Australia. Naturally, we don't have these here, so I had to find the part number and order the bloody thing, but I have it now. I'll put that in. Okay, and that's where that goes. And it needs a little clip right here to hold it down, which was, yeah, very difficult to find. There it is. I had to order that from the States. That cost me $50 for that piece of bent crap. But, yeah, that goes in. Holds it like that. I'll put that in, and the rest of the valve body bolts now. Okay, all the bolts are just sitting in the holes now, and I've put the detent lever on there as well. That rear lube tube covers this bolt. So you need to put the bolts in for the valve body first in this particular style of rear lube circuit. So I've just pulled that out for now. There's also this little clip that holds the loom. I can't remember which bolt all that goes on, so I'm just going to tighten them up without it, and I'll remove the bolt that's a problem and put the clip on it once I work out where it goes. Okay, the book has a torquing sequence here and 3 steps to reach required torque. It's all measured in inch-pounds. I don't have tools that measure in inch-pounds, so I'm just converting it to foot-pounds with the smallest torque wrench I have, which is a 1/4 inch, and I'll run through the sequence. First step is 70 inch-pounds, which tells me, with the Googling, 5.83, focus, fine, 5.83 foot-pounds. So I've set this to 5.83, and I'm going to go through the sequence and see how it goes. 1, 2. Number 3, this one. Number 4. Number 5. This one. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. That one. Yep. 9. Number 13 is this one. Number 14. This one. 15 is this one. Number 16 is this one. Number 17 I have left out on purpose. Number 18 is detent here. And this one. And this one. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. Ah, it's different. Don't have a 28. Okay. Okay, next step, repeat the pattern, going up to 90 foot-pounds. 90 foot-pounds is... 90 inch-pounds, 7.5 foot-pounds. There. Six. 7. 8. 9. 10. Where's 10? 10 is here. 10. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17 missing, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Okay, next stage, 100 inch-pounds, which comes to 8.3 foot-pounds. 8.3. Alright, final stage. There we go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 26, 27. Okay, that's all torqued up to 100 inch-pounds, pretty much as the book indicates. Differences here are I've left bolt 17 out because I need that to hold the tube, so I'm going to do that one now and then torque it up. The other difference is bolt number 28 is here. So that's the difference between the later model valve body for the later model case. There's no bolt hole there anymore, which is fine. It's the last one in the torque sequence anyway, so just skip it. So I'll put this tube back in now and torque up the last bolt. Okay, that's in there now and torqued up to 100 inch-pounds. I'm just going to use the old texture trick here and just mark the heads of the bolt just to make sure I haven't missed any. I don't think I have, but I'd rather be safe and sure. Okay, so the next step in the book is to install a wiring harness. This is a new wiring harness that I put in at the start of the build. The transmission came with one of the really old, I think 93 style harnesses with the weird plug. It was full of oil. It was obviously knackered, so I've just bought a new one. A lot of the guides that I found online just say to do that anyway, just to be sure. Same with all of the solenoids. These are all new. They came with the valve body. I would have replaced them anyway, even if I didn't have to replace the valve body, but they are all new, so it shouldn't cause me any trouble at all. So the wiring loom goes underneath this tube and then around. So I will put it through now. Okay, so I started tucking the loom through here and found that it actually fits much better if you put it up here. Otherwise this one here doesn't really reach where it's supposed to go and it's a bit tight on all the loom, so I'd say that's probably where it's supposed to go. I had to take the tube out to do that, put it back in again, but that's done. I'll just try and work out where the clip goes here and plug those top two in now. Okay, they're plugged in now. The clip seems to fit quite well there. I don't know if it's the right spot. I don't think it'll cause any harm. Just need to make sure it doesn't interfere with the filter, and if it's all good, it's all good. So I will move on to the next step, which is the filter anyway. So I'll bang that on now and see if it fits nicely. Yep, no problem. That fits there. Doesn't bother the loom anywhere. That looks fine to me. Okie dokie. Next step is the pan, or the sump as we call them here. Alright, so I've just buzzed around and given that pan a little bit of a clean up. Same with the surface of the casing. Another tip that I found from Precision Transmissions videos is to not use these rubber gaskets, because the rubber shrinks and the steel doesn't, and they stop sealing. So they may look reusable, but it's much better to just use a cork gasket. So I have a cork gasket. I have a couple of cork gaskets. So yeah, I'll just do what the experts say to do. Makes sense that would work well. Dry, clean, torque it down. Okay, pan's on. I haven't torqued it up yet, I've just nipped it up by hand. It's hard to tell, but I've bunged out a little dent that was in the bottom of the pan. It's obviously been jacked off before, so it had a bit of a dent in it. And that was hitting the filter and making it quite springy on the filter. It still has a little bit of tension because the filter obviously has to touch the bottom of the pan here, but it has a cutout sort of here where it can always get fluid. So it's not going to block its flow. It's not tight, but it is sort of, you can definitely feel it is touching the filter. So I'm going to go through now and I'm just going to torque these up to 18 foot-pounds like everything else in this trans, and yeah, go from there. Okay, pan is torqued up. I'll flip the transmission over. Next step, it says install new O-rings onto the speed sensors. I just bought new speed sensors because I lost the ones that this had. I took them out years ago, put them somewhere safe, and they're gone. So new ones are in there with new O-rings, problem solved. Cooler fittings I did in the last video, but you can see them in here. I'll spin this around. I'm just going to change the angle of this one here, just so it goes across and then up. I think that'll be neater for what I need to do, but I think we're pretty much there. I think we've got a built transmission that will, or maybe will even work. So, yeah, I might cut it there. Thanks everyone for watching.